Hello and welcome to Hitbullseye. My name is Manish and I am back with your weekly dose of current affairs. In this video, we will be discussing the most important national, international events from the fourth week of May 2023. So let's take a look at the topics one by one. Starting with Nira Chopra, the golden boy Nira Chopra, ever since he got gold medal in javelin throw at the Tokyo Olympics. We call him the golden boy. So he has now become the world number one, of course, in the javelin throw. Next, SpaceX, the company owned by Elon Musk, has sent first Saudi Arabian astronauts to the International Space Station. For the first time, someone from Saudi Arabia is traveling to the International Space Station aboard a SpaceX rocket. India Commonwealth Day 2023 was commemorated in this week. CAG India Games, the third edition of CAG India Games was inaugurated in this particular week. That we'll take a look at that. Kerala has added another feather to its cap by becoming the first fully e-governed state of India. There are so many firsts that Kerala has added to itself. For example, the first full library constituency is in Kerala. The first leaf manuscript museum is there in Kerala. There are so many firsts they have. And now it has become the first fully e-governed state. So there is a particular program of the state government which can be attributed to. So we'll discuss that program. Infosys, the famous IT company of India, has launched Topaz, jumping the bandwagon of artificial intelligence. Everyone is doing something or the other in artificial intelligence, so Infosys has also launched its own version of that. We'll take a look at what Topaz is. Next, UDAN 5.1. So UDAN was a government scheme launched a few years back. उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. That means to facilitate economic, airfares for the common man. उड़े देश का आम नागरिक. So now its new version 5.1 has been launched, focused on the helicopter routes other than the the jet planes. Next, Dag Hammas medals are given by the United Nations for someone who has done exceptional service or given exceptional service. But this has been given to 2 Indian UN peacekeepers for showing courage in the line of duty, and they have died. So these are posthumous medals given to 2 Indian peacekeepers. We'll take a look at that. CAG, the Controller and Auditor General of India, who is Mr. Murmu right now. Mr. Girish Chandra Murmu is the CAG right now. He has been re-elected as an external auditor of World Health Organization. So these international bodies also require some form of auditing, and Mr. Murmu was already the external auditor of WHO. He has been re-elected to that position. Sachin Tendulkar, who last year became the first person in the world to become a hand ambassador, has now become a smile ambassador. So we'll take a look at what is the meaning of becoming a smile ambassador. Is it that a smile is too good, or just that we are promoting smiles? That is not the case. It is something else. We'll take a look at that. And finally, I think the most popular news of the week was Chennai Super Kings winning the IPL 2023 in a nail-biting finish. Let's take a look at all these news one by one. Starting with Nira Chopra has become world number 1. Now some of you might be confused that isn't he already world number 1, that he won a gold medal in Olympics. So Olympics is the highest sporting event in the world, and he won a gold medal there. So doesn't he automatically become world number 1? That is not the case. There is a different, there's a different criteria for becoming a world number 1 in a particular sport. There are points that are counted, and those points do not depend on any individual win. They depend on a plethora of factors, including how many championships a player has participated in, how consistently the player is performing, and relative to how the other players are performing. So no doubt, when he won the gold medal in the javelin in Olympics, he was, pushed further up this particular chain. He went to number 2 or number 3, but this is the first time he has got to number 1 position, and we will see the reason for that. So he has claimed number 1 ranking in men's javelin for the first time. That means now he has done 2 of the highest achievements in the sport. One, in that sport, see, basically there are 3 achievements that a person can do in most of the sports. First is winning a gold medal in the Olympics, which is considered the highest award in a multi-sport event. Olympics is the highest multi-sport event of the world, but in every different sport there is a different world championship. So the second distinction can be if the person wins a gold medal in that particular individual world championship as well. Like for example, the World Athletics Championship. When that happens, if he wins a gold in that, that is the second highest distinction that he or she can have. The third is getting number 1 ranking in the world. If a person or a player achieves all these 3 things in his or her lifetime, then is considered one of the greatest players of that particular sport. So arguably, Mr. Chopra has now achieved 2 of those distinctions, an Olympic gold medal and now a world number 1 ranking. What only eludes him now is a gold medal in the World Athletics Championship, where he won a silver medal the last time. So he has now points more than Grenada's Anderson Peters, who is his next rival. Right? So earlier he was world number 2 after the Olympics win, but he was stuck behind Anderson Peters, who had more points than him. In 2022, so now let's take a look at the wins he had that have prompted him to world number 1 position. In 2022, he won the Zurich Diamond League finals, which made him the first Indian athlete to do so. So in the Diamond League Championship, he won a gold medal in Zurich last year. And in 2023, Doha Diamond League, he finished first. Again, he finished first. But in the World Athletics Championship that happened last year, he won a silver medal just behind Anderson Peters. Okay, so it is because of these 2 wins and because of the Olympic win collectively that now he has so many points that he has finally become the world number 1. So this is a really good moment for India, especially because of the fact that athletics is the most difficult and most contested sport in the world. So athletics में किसी भी चीज़ में, whether it is javelin throw, whether it is track and field event, any track and field event, it's very difficult to become world number 1. So now that an Indian has become one, it's a moment for India to cheer. In fact, he might be preparing for next year's Paris Olympics to get a gold again, sealing his position as one of the greatest javelin throwers of all time. Anyway, so next we have SpaceX has sent first Saudi Arabian astronauts to the International Space Station. ISS, International Space Station. So the Arab world is taking a lot of strides in making its mark in the space sector. They have a lot of money that they have earned from the oil, selling the oil for all these decades. Now they are trying to become really technologically advanced, infrastructurally advanced, which is a really welcome move. So now Saudi Arabian astronauts Rayana Barnawi and Ali Al-Karni have become the first astronauts to go into space. So one is this woman and one is this man. These are the 2 astronauts from Saudi Arabia who have gone into space. Of course, there were 2 other astronauts with them, but it is their first. So this is sponsored by the Saudi Arabian government. The female researcher is Rayana Barnawi. So she is Rayana Barnawi. She's a stem cell researcher. And then Saudi Air Force fighter pilot. So he is a Saudi Air Force fighter pilot. His name is Ali Al-Karni. They joined a crew led by NASA astronauts from the Kennedy Space Center. So the other 2 are the astronauts from US and these 2 are from Saudi Arabia. It has been organized by Axiom Space, which is a Houston-based company, and executed by SpaceX. So this shows a new, let's say, breaking a glass ceiling in a particular country where no one has ever gone into space. So I would say, if I compare this moment with India, it is perhaps their Rakesh Sharma moment, because Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian astronaut to go into space in 1984. So perhaps it is Saudi Arabia's Rakesh Sharma moment. We can say that. Next, Indian Commonwealth Day 2023. May the 24th is commemorated as the Indian Commonwealth Day every year. This year the theme was Forging a Sustainable and Peaceful Common Future. Commonwealth, for those of you who do not know, is a group of countries which have been ruled by Britain. So as you know, there was a very famous saying once upon a time that the saying was that the sun never sets on the British Empire. It's like on the globe, at every point of time, at least half of the globe is always lit by the sun, and on the other half there is always darkness. Of course, the side that is obverse to the sun. So British were occupying so many territories on the globe that it was never the case that sun set on the British Empire. And those countries were 54 in number. Yes, 54 countries have been ruled by the British. So 54 members were there of the Commonwealth of Nations until last year, when 2 new members were added. Interestingly, these are the first 2 members who have never been ruled by the British, but they just wanted to become the members. So they have been included. Both are the African countries. One is Togo and one is Gabon. They became the members of Commonwealth. Anyway, so Commonwealth is a group of all those countries which have been ruled over by Britain, including India. And the reason that all of them came together, basically the British wanted to have a fresh start. They didn't want any acrimony of the past to be a roadblock for the future, sort of a thing. So they wanted all these countries to come together. Not that any country is giving up its sovereignty in any way. It's just that they will do something constructive, maybe Commonwealth Games, maybe Commonwealth meetings, something like that. Soft diplomacy, as you would say. So India celebrates 24th of May as Commonwealth Day for shared values and principles. There are approximately 2.5 billion people in the world who are the members of the Commonwealth. उसमें से आधे से ज़्यादा तो इंडिया ही है. 1.4 billion is India only. And why do we celebrate it on this day? Because on 24th of May 1902, Queen Victoria's birthday, it coincided with. 24th of May 1902, when we started commemorating it. It was to honor Queen Victoria following her passing in January. So on 24th of May 1902, the world started celebrating, British basically started celebrating the Commonwealth Day. And in 1958, Harold Macmillan, the Prime Minister of UK at that time, acknowledged changing dynamics of relationships, and he changed the name of the day from Empire Day to Commonwealth Day. Earlier this day was called the Empire Day, but now no one wants to be called that, that we are a part of an empire. That's no longer the concept. Now it's Commonwealth seems like a more soft word for that particular purpose. So earlier, from 1902 to 1958, it was called the Empire Day, but then now we call it the Commonwealth Day, 24th of May. And the head of the Commonwealth is the monarch of Britain. So right now it is King Charles III who is the head of the Commonwealth. Third edition of Khelo India University Games. Every year now there are Khelo India Games, and these have become the de facto, you can say, talent identification games in a way. So Khelo India University Games, Khelo India Youth Games, they have become the sort of launch pad for budding or talented sports persons in India. So they then rise on to bigger platforms like national games, and these are primarily for amateur players. Then they go on to national games, which are for mature players, for professional athletes in a way. So this year the venue was Uttar Pradesh. Third Khelo India University Games, venue was Uttar Pradesh. Thousands of athletes, 200 plus universities, 21 disciplines. So it is primarily universities that take place in these games. Next, Kerala has become the first fully e-governed state of India. When we talk about governance, governance and government are two different things. Government is someone that governs. Governance, on the other hand, is delivery of government services at the doorstep. That is what governance is. Now, when we say e-governance, that means electronic delivery of services at the doorstep. For example, if any service a citizen wants from the government and he can access it online, that is e-governance. Let us say you want to apply for a birth certificate or a death certificate or any other approval from the government, or you want to fill out any form. If everything you can do online and you are saved from the hassle of going to a government office and wasting your time and energy, that is called e-governance, electronic governance. So it is there in every state, but to have it across the state for every service is something that Kerala has become the first one to do. The name of the project is E7M. E7M. Under this project, they have been able to do this. Also, because it is the first fully literate state in India, they have that distinction. Whenever we talk about literacy or you can say the sex ratio, it is Kerala that stands out. And so it is logical that the most literate state of India has become the first e-governed state in India, transforming the state into a digitally empowered society. So what happens under this thing is unified single window service delivery mechanism. There are 800 plus government services which are available online in Kerala. 800 plus government services. Right? There is user-friendly interface, state-of-the-art technology, seamless experience, quick and hassle-free access, all these are the things, Citizens can avail every single service under the E7M portal, can apply for anything, can get approvals, everything is done online. So that is amazing, and I think most of the other states should, follow in the footsteps of Kerala and try to become an e-governance country, not only a state. Next we have Infosys launching Topaz. Now Topaz is not only a gem, it's also an AI-based platform. So Infosys has launched this. It's a comprehensive suite of services, solutions and platforms that harness the power of artificial intelligence technologies. So basically I would say this year, if there has been a trendsetter, that award has to go to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is not the first AI tool that the world has. There have been some other tools as well, but the credit for popularizing AI in popular imagination will always be attributed to ChatGPT. It has shown the people in a very simple way what AI or artificial intelligence is capable of. So after that, everyone is trying to jump the bandwagon. Whether it is Google announcing the launch of Bard, whether it is Elon Musk announcing the launch of Truth GPT, or so many other platforms launching this AI-based tools. Now Infosys has launched Topaz. So all the IT infrastructure companies have to do this. So Topaz is built on Infosys' applied AI framework, enabling the development of AI-first core that enhances the capabilities of individuals and organizations. They are going to work in multiple domains, not only chat generation, multiple domains, to deliver cognitive solutions and accelerate value creation. It integrates the capabilities, this is really important. Topaz integrates the capabilities of Infosys, Cobalt Cloud and data analytics, leveraging their collective power to drive AI-enabled business transformations. Now the way it will be implemented in real life is going to be totally different, but of course this is something that they are channelizing their energy towards, and they're actually falling, they're actually walking in this direction, that now everything that they have, whether cloud and data analytics, is going to be focused in the direction of artificial intelligence. So that means that AI is no longer something in the closet. It is out in the open. Everyone is trying to do this. It's no longer the intangible or untouchy things anymore. It has become, or it is becoming, mainstream, you can say. And of course, very soon the other IT companies are going to launch their own versions of AI platforms. And that is how it should be. Next is UDAN 5.1. So UDAN was a scheme that was launched by the government about 6 to 7 years back in 2015. So at that time, 2015-16, that was the time around which it was launched. So at that time, the purpose was to make domestic air travel affordable to the common man. And this scheme has been a real success. There have been so many unserved or underserved airports that have been revived. There have been thousands of less utilized or unutilized air routes that have been connected, although there have been certain flaws as well, but that is true for any other government scheme. So largely it has been a success, and the domestic air travel in India has, multiplied in the last few years. Barring the COVID pandemic period, it has multiplied. So now the government has launched this 5.1 for specifically helicopter-based connectivity. Because helicopters have a unique, unique feature in them. They do not require long runways, they do not require huge infrastructure that the airports require. So helicopters have this unique feature which allows them to be operated in hilly areas. And in hilly areas, going from place A to place B by road and by air makes a huge lot of difference because of all the zigzag nature of the mountainous roads that there are. Doesn't make much of a difference, like that much of a difference in plain areas, but in hilly areas it makes a lot of difference. For example, if you have to go from point A to point B in a hilly area and it takes you 1 hour to do that, in helicopter it might take you less than 5 minutes to go from the place A to place B. That is the amount of difference it can make. So there are 46 helicopter routes that have already been operationalized. 46 routes that have already been operationalized, benefiting hilly and northeastern states. So the primary focus is that, because of the same reason, that it makes a lot of difference in hilly areas. And the target is to cover a whole lot number of routes. The name of the scheme is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, UDAN, and it comes under the nodal ministry of civil aviation. Now under this scheme, what they are doing is airfare caps have been put in place. Like depending upon the distance that the aircraft is going to travel and depending upon the duration of the flight, there are price caps. So the companies cannot exceed that price cap. That is how it becomes affordable to the consumers. So price caps have been reduced by as much as 25% to make flying helicopters more affordable. 25% tak reduce kar diya hai air caps ko. Then viability gap funding is provided. Because if you do this, if you force the private companies to reduce their airfares, they may not fly. So what the government does is, the government puts in viability gap funding. So whatever funding is required to make this viable for the private players is put in by the government. This is how the government encourages such a thing. And when the volume grows due to financial viability, slowly and slowly the government reduces the component of viability gap funding and it becomes self-sustainable. That is the model. Right? So this has been launched for helicopters. That's what you need to remember. Dag Hammas Medals. Dag Hammas was the former Secretary General of United Nations. Like currently the Secretary General is Mr. Antonio Guterres. He's from Portugal. So Mr. Antonio Guterres is the current Secretary General of UN. But Dag Hammas was the former Secretary General, and named after him is the Dag Hammas Medal. It was received by Ruchira Kamboj, who is India's permanent representative to the United Nations. Very important position. So she received the medals on behalf of Head Constables Shishupal Singh and Samvala Ram Vishnoi. So these two Indian peacekeepers, on their behalf, Ms. Ruchira Kamboj received these medals. These are the highest honors awarded to UN peacekeepers. Highest awards to the UN peacekeepers, awarded posthumously to members of peacekeeping operations for sacrificing their life in the field. So it is only given posthumously. The ceremony was held in the UN headquarters in New York, so UN has its headquarters in New York, to commemorate the International Day of UN Peacekeepers, and it is named after Second Secretary General of UN, Dag Hammas. So he was the Second Secretary General of Dag Hammas of UN. The first one was Trygve Lie. Head Constable Shishupal Singh and Savlaram Vishnoi were of the Border Security Force, and they were on the UN mission in Democratic Republic of Congo. So in DRC, in Africa, they were on the UN peacekeeping mission, where they lost their lives. Right? They used to serve with Organization Stabilization Mission, or MONUSCO, in the country. So under this mission they were serving, they lost their lives, and they have been awarded this medal. The CAG of India, Mr. Girish Chand Murmu. CAG is the Controller and Auditor General of India. It's a constitutional position. Its provision is mentioned in the Constitution. According to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a CAG is the most important functionary under the Constitution of India. The most important functionary. And he said this because CAG is going to be responsible for auditing the accounts of the central as well as the state governments. So any kind of financial impropriety is going to be highlighted in the audits of the CAG. So for making the state financially accountable to the parliament, it is CAG whose report plays a huge role. And he was right when he said this, because if we look at the record of CAG reports, so many of the prominent scams by the central government have been put to the fore, and by state governments as well, have been highlighted by CAG in his reports. For example, the Bofors scam, the 2G spectrum allocation scam, the coal mines auction scam in 2010. Then we had this Commonwealth Games scam. All these were highlighted in the CAG reports. In fact, just recently there has been a train collision in Odisha. So there was a CAG report last year that flagged the the poor state of affairs for various railway tracks in the country. So that report is now going to be highlighted. Right? So what is this basically? External auditor. External auditor means these international organizations like World Health Organization and some other organizations, they require someone to audit their accounts as well. So they ask for the auditor of certain countries to audit their accounts as well as external auditors. So if someone gets this honor, it is a really big honor to have. So Mr. Murmu was already doing this for WHO, now he has been re-elected, which shows the trust these international organizations have in India's institution of CAG. And in fact, last week itself, he was also selected as external auditor for International Labour Organization, ILO. He was also selected as the auditor of ILO. So now the Indian CAG is responsible for the external audit of two international organizations, the World Health Organization and the International Labour Organization, both of them. Sachin Tendulkar has become the Smile Ambassador. So Smile is quite nice, isn't it? But that is not the exact reason why he has been made the Smile Ambassador. This is nothing to do with mental health or something like that. It has to do with oral hygiene. So this program or this ambassador thing has been done by the Maharashtra government. So he has become Maharashtra's Smile Ambassador under the state's Swachh Mukh Abhiyan. Swachh Mukh Abhiyan, to promote oral hygiene among the people, to spread awareness about oral health and hygiene across the state. So he will be the face of the State Medical Education and Drug Department Swachh Mukh Abhiyan. This is a campaign of the Maharashtra government, and he has agreed to become this ambassador totally free of cost. Right? So this campaign was conceptualized in association with Indian Dental Association to promote oral hygiene among the people. So you have to know that Sachin Tendulkar is the first Smile Ambassador. Secondly, this has been launched by Maharashtra government. Third, it was in association with the Indian Dental Association. And fourth, it is to promote oral hygiene and health care. Okay, these are the points you need to remember. Earlier, he also became the world's first hand ambassador, because hand hygiene also is very important. So to wash your hands and everything. I think when the COVID-19 was underway, you must have seen advertisement of Sachin Tendulkar washing his hands not even saying a word, but just starts washing his hands for 20 seconds. That was the message actually, that you should wash your hands properly for 20 seconds. So he has become the first hand ambassador, and that is under the Savlon India's clean health, clean hand program, something like that. That was a private company, but this one is a government campaign. Finally, we have MSD, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, winning his 5th IPL title, right? So, Chennai Super Kings defeated Gujarat Titans in the final to emerge as the winners of the IPL 2023. At the end, the decision was done by Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method, but it was there. So it was there are certain awards which are given at the end of the IPL. For example, the best venues of the season. These awards went to Eden Gardens, Kolkata, and Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The orange cap, which is given to the highest scorer of the entire tournament, went to Shubman Gill with 890 runs to his credit. And then the purple cap, which is given to someone with the maximum wickets, went to Mohammad Shami with 28 wickets throughout the tournament. So these are some of the standout awards in the IPL, and it was Chennai Super Kings' 5th title. And with this, it has equaled the record of winning the maximum IPL titles with Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians has won 5 titles, and Chennai Super Kings also has won 5 titles. It's amazing that in the total 13 IPLs that have been held till date, 10 titles have been won by just 2 teams. That's amazing. So that, I think, is pretty much it for this week of current affairs. A lot of things happened, and I think you liked the information that we shared in this. Do let us know your views in the comment section. Next week we'll be back with some more news. Till then, this is me, Manish Mittal, signing off. Thank you so much.